Hello, everybody, and welcome to FE3. We are Graham, Johnny, and Mason. And for the FEC project, Catwalk, we have used the Create React app to show you what you're seeing here on the monitor. Now, we have used many frameworks, front-end and back-end, to make this magic happen, from React Bootstrap, React Router. We did a lot of vanilla CSS, and then we peppered in some other frameworks to add a little spice. We used Axios for requests, Babel for a transcompiler, Webpack to bundle, Express and Node.js for the backend, and like I said, a couple other things as well for that pizzazz. So I'm going to pass the floor to Johnny, and we're going to kick this thing off.
Thanks, Graham. Hi, everyone. I have been managing the product overview widget, so I'm going to take you through how it works in a demonstration here. First of all, we have an image carousel on the top left. As you can see, there are arrow buttons which allow the user to scroll through images. These arrows are hidden when the last image in the carousel is displayed to indicate that you're at the end of the amount of images available. Next, on the top right, the star rating of the product and a link to reviews is displayed. Below this, we have the product category, product name, and price and style text displayed on the screen. Then thumbnails of each available style are displayed. When each style is selected, there is logic to check if the style is on sale. This has been really popular now for users because it allows them to find bargains. After this, we have an add to cart section. If a user clicks add to bag before selecting a size, there will be displayed an error message asking them to select a size. Only sizes and quantities which are in stock will then be displayed. Finally, at the bottom of the page, the product slogan, description, and features are displayed for the user. After a review with the product manager and other stakeholders, the expanded image gallery thumbnails, and social media links have been pushed to the next release. One technical challenge which I encountered was implementing a URL endpoint for each product in the catalog. This feature was needed to allow users in the future to share their product on social media platforms. This challenge was solved by using React Router library to undertake client-side routing. In a nutshell, this library listens to the browser's address bar for changes and passes the URL product ID parameter to our client application. In order to implement this feature, we added routes to our server application to ensure it serves our application from URLs which include a product ID parameter. As a result of this implementation, all products can be accessed from fe3catwalk.com using a product ID parameter. And I'm going to let Graham talk about his implementations.
Thank you so much, Johnny. I am going to jump in here and talk about my widget, which was the questions and answers section. So these questions and answers correspond to the particular product that you saw above. Now, if a question here has more than 2 answers, you're going to see this load more answers button, which is going to pop down for any additional answers. If you want to hide those again back to the default of 2, you click this collapse answers button that populates. Additionally, there are some little pieces of functionality here within each answer. You can mark an answer as helpful. You can also report it. Additionally, these answers do append to the page based on their helpfulness. So as an example, I'm going to report something, and that's going to remove it from the page. I'm going to click a yes here, and you're going to see this demo only upon refresh is now higher than this demo purposes here. And the demo only is here with 3, and you've seen the other one now has been reported and removed. Additionally, moving over to the questions, it's a very similar aesthetic to the answers. You can click the yes, and that will append it to the top of the page based on the most helpfulness, similar to answer. Additionally, you can also add an answer. Let's say you have something you want to contribute here. You want to just type something in randomly. You have to make sure it's an actual email or you'll get an error, and you'll click submit, and that will then append to the page here. Additionally, you can add a question as well about a specific product. We'll go ahead and type something random. You're not going to see this right away, and you're going to wonder why. Well, alas, there's a more answered questions button here that's going to guide you on your journey to finding that question, because on page load up, you're only supposed to have 4 questions. So if we click this, more answered, we're going to get 2 questions populating at a time until we eventually find our question there. Now, lastly, we have installed a nice search bar here that is going to populate anything that comes up with, why don't I say demo, so we can catch words in English, not the Latin words. And there is the one English word for this question. If I were to delete that, it will repopulate with every question again. Now with that, I'll go ahead and, oh, you know what? Let me actually talk about a challenge as well. I have found that the async calls here were quite challenging for me. I had to build out many ternary operations to ensure that these worked. Sometimes I had to build a ternary within a ternary. That got very confusing and challenging quick because I would solve one problem and another problem would unfold. I'd fix getting all the answers and then questions would break and vice versa. So that took a lot of very detailed nitpicking to just understand exactly what was happening on every single line, and eventually able to work that out so everything worked in sync. So now with that, I will go ahead and pass it over to Mason.
Thanks, Graham. As you can see, we have a ratings and reviews section. Starting from the left, we have the average rating of all reviews submitted, and that's broken up into a graph down below that shows how each person's vote got sorted out. We also have fit, comfort, and length and quality graphs to show the different characteristics and how they ranked. On the right side, we see each individual review. We can see the amount of average amount of stars that the review was given, as well as a summary and body. And users are given the opportunity to select whether the review is helpful or not. If there are more than 2 reviews, you can see we have a more reviews button, and selecting that brings up additional reviews. This one even has a response from the company highlighted in gray. Users have the ability to add a review by selecting add a review. This brings up a new modal where users can fill out the form. Unfortunately, functionality for this has not been given to send the form back, so that functionality will be included in the next build. As far as technical challenges, one thing that I came across was creating those fit, comfort, length, quality graphs was really challenging for me. I scoured the internet for much longer than I should have in order to find a suitable external library, but I couldn't find anything that adequately covered my needs. So instead, I turned to basic HTML, where I used a range slider element and added some vanilla CSS in order to give those graphs. Next, we'll go to VS Code, and I'll break down our folder structure. It's a pretty typical folder structure. Server files are in the server folder, tests are in the spec folder, and all our components are located in the source folder, broken up by each widget. We also share app.jsx and index.css files. I'll now popcorn over to Johnny, where he will explain our build process.
Thanks, Mason. We have implemented 2 build configurations in our repo, actually. The first is a development build configuration. This can be built using the npm run watch command in the terminal, and this will export build files into the public directory. These are optimized for debugging. The second is a production optimized build. This can be built using the command npm run build, and this will export files to the build directory. And this is optimized to be small in size and to run quickly. Now Mason is going to close us out.
I think I could speak for the whole team when I say this was a really enjoyable project, and we really appreciate the opportunity to present for you today. If you have any questions about our project, please feel free to reach out to us, or you can find us at fe3catwalk.com.